This is Time Signatures with Jim Ervin, a podcast and radio program presented by the Capital Area Blues Society in Lansing, Michigan.
Driving up and down these Michigan roads, yeah.
And now, here he is, your host, Jim Ervin.
Baby, I'm home.
Well, hi there, everyone. I'm your host, Jim Ervin, and this is Time Signatures. I'm pleased to welcome back one of my guests to the program, and he wasn't here all that long ago, but whenever a blues musician visits and they have a new album or a tour to talk about, it gives me great pleasure to open the doors and welcome them back to talk about their news. The exciting part of this episode, at least for me, is that this guy is coming to Michigan, and one of my personal enjoyments is photography. So when I get an opportunity to shoot a show, especially for someone I've talked to previously, you bet I'm on board. Davy Knowles, man, I can't tell you how pleased I am to welcome you back to Time Signatures. How are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me back. Thank you.
Always a pleasure, man. We had so much fun the last time, and you've got some really cool stuff going on right now. Of course, the tour, which we're going to talk about in a moment, is bringing you to Ann Arbor, Michigan in just a couple of weeks. Yeah. But you also have something super special ready to drop in just a couple of months. And you had an opportunity to record with Rory Gallagher's bandmates. And yes, I said the name correctly, according to the Irish pronunciation, Rory Gallagher. You recorded with his bandmates, Jerry McAvoy and Brendan O'Neill, didn't you?
Yeah. I've been fortunate enough to be playing with Jerry and Brendan in a project that Jerry set up called Band of Friends. And I've been lucky enough to be doing that now for about 7 years, on and off.
Wow.
Okay. Which is, if you'd asked a teenage version of me, whether if I'd be doing that, what a childhood dream come true. And we get on like a house on fire. And doing the Rory stuff with them is just so magical, because there's this moment of you go, oh my gosh, there it is. There's that sound. It's those records I grew up. They're such a huge part of that.
Goosebumps, man.
I'm like a little kid. So there's that amazing factor, but also I love playing original songs with them. I love the songwriting part of the industry. It's wonderful to pay tribute and be respectful, and
yes,
that's so important, and to celebrate his music and how important it is to so many people. But where I really kind of get my, where I really get my kicks with things is songwriting. And so I had gathered up a bunch of songs I felt all kind of fit together, but I was unsure about whether they really belonged in my world completely and their world completely. And I was kind of just kicking these things about and thought, these are good songs, but I don't know where they live. And I plucked up enough courage and asked them if they would entertain kind of doing a bit of a side project, and foolishly they've agreed. So it's been a joy. It's been a joy. I'm excited to have it all out there.
This year seems to be a really big year for paying homage to Rory, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Your work with Jerry and Brendan, Joe Bonamassa just did a stint in Cork, which is already receiving rave reviews. I truly hope that he recorded that episode, and I truly hope that he's going to be putting it out on DVD. And I got to keep my hand down because I keep putting this on tracking. I got a new camera, guys. So for people that don't know what happens when you hold your hand up just so it starts tracking you. So I gotta learn to keep my hand down. But in any event, this, as I said, this truly is a special year for Rory, isn't it? For paying homage to him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was very young when he passed. Yeah. So I don't really know what it was like, towards the tail end of his career and what have you. But it seems like within my lifetime, there has been a huge resurgence and a huge renewed and deserved respect for the man. Within the last few years. And that's such a beautiful thing to see, because what an unsung hero.
Well, and one of the cool things about the blues is as I've grown in the blues, I go down rabbit holes, and I discovered Rory not long ago. And here I am. I've been in the blues, I've been involved for about 5 years. And somebody goes, well, you really need to check into Rory Gallagher. And I went, okay, who's Rory Gallagher? And I started digging a little bit. And as you can see, I've got a nice little deal up here. And that's a ticket from one of his German appearances before he passed. And got some great photos printed, and I just decided to do a nice collage. I just picked up a copy of On the Boards.
What a great record.
I'm telling you, I listened to this today, and it just arrived today. It's actually a UK release, and I love that album. It's incredible. Yeah.
It's so kind of right there. Everything is so immediate. It's such a wonderful dark thing. Yeah.
So needless to say, I've really been enjoying myself discovering who Rory Gallagher is. But I'm going to ask you now, as I did when we first spoke about this project, because I'm telling you, I got goosebumps when you talked about this. Did you feel Rory in the studio when you were putting this together? I mean, I know you guys were in different parts of the world, but
yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to say, because I don't want to. I don't know. The idea with anything I do in regards to the Rory thing is purely out of reverence for the man.
Yes.
And the amount of influence that his music has given me. Mm-hmm. So I would say more than feeling, a oh my gosh, Rory's here with me kind of a feeling. I would say more that a younger version of me was there. There was a youthfulness to it of what a privilege, what an honor it is for me to get to realize a dream, to record with these guys, to get to play with these guys, to be friends with them, just as human beings. They're wonderful people. So I would say more it was this wonder of how fortunate and how grateful I am to have that opportunity. You shake a tree and a million great guitar players come down that will kick your ass and make you want to give up. And that is absolutely true in my world. There are people who don't get afforded opportunities like that ought to and should have opportunities like that. So when they come and when they happen, you grab them and you realize the magnitude and have a gratitude to match, I think is the way I would put that.
I think that's very well said and very profound indeed. And having seen your post from July 12th, it begs the question, do you feel that this album has allowed you to be a little bit more introspective toward your music?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I would say that. It's been, in recent years, I think that's the way that lyrically my music has gone. I kind of learned some lessons that's where I feel like I do my best work, as if it is deeply personal. I feel like it's better work that way for me.
Yes, sir. Now that first single, Days Gone By, is already out there, and we have to be sure to put up a link, which I will do in the show notes. But talk about that first single and what it means to you to have it released and out there in the general public. I mean, you've already gotten more than 1,000 views on this thing in just 3 weeks, Davy.
I try not to look. I try not to look. So, I mean, the song for me was something that I've wanted to address in my writing for a really long time. I think folks have kind of, and this is their words, not mine. I wouldn't profess anything, but feel like maybe I'm a bit of an old soul. And I do feel like I connect with things that are older, the music I like is older. I like old vintage things. I like the again, I wasn't around, but there's certainly an aesthetic and an identity that maybe I look for that's not of my own generation. Mm-hmm. And I've wanted to talk about that in song before, but never really found the right way to do it. And so Days Gone By was really the first time I felt like, yeah, this is trying to kind of fit in an era where I, feel a bit like a square plug in a round hole kind of a thing. Yeah, I mean, lyrically, that was what it was about. And then as far as, how it feels to have it out there, it's exciting. It's also nerve-wracking, you write something, you become really close to it, and then you go, yeah, I feel like that's really good. It's ready to go. And you kind of, you press the email like this, like, okay, and off it goes into the wild. So it was nerve-wracking, but it's been a lovely reception, and I'm proud of the song, and I'm proud of the way it was recorded.
Well, I want to thank you because you gave me an opportunity to hear the album, and I've listened to it a couple times through. Thank you for pressing that send button. Seriously.
Cheers.
I can tell you without a doubt that as soon as this gets released, I'll be placing an order at least for a couple of copies. And as word breaks on the pre-sale, I mean, all I want to know is when, and I'm ready to go. This project truly is special. I mean, and you have to be excited to get it completely out there, right?
Yeah, I really am. It kind of feels cruel on my end. I just want to go bump. There it goes. But but there's the I don't know. There's all of this digital nonsense, isn't there, these days, where it's all. Yeah. Feed the algorithm and all of this, and it does it helps unfortunately to release it bit by bit for a little minute. But I think we'll do pre-sales in about a month after the next single, and then out in the autumn, early autumn.
I am so ready, honestly. And of course, I have to ask the obvious question. Is there any talk about possibly touring with Rory's bandmates once it does release, if only on a limited basis?
I'd love to get them stateside again. That would be fabulous. We're touring together in January and looks like end of May.
Oh, man.
In the UK and in the UK, Spain and Ireland. So I'll be doing some shows with them there. But as far as the States go, it's a little bit more tricky, a little bit more expensive, a little bit more of an overhead. So it's got to make sense, but I would love that. We've done a couple in the past, and it'd be fab to do again.
Well, if it makes sense, you make sure to let me know, and we'll talk about it, and I'll be there, and I'll take pictures for you. Enough of my questions, man. We got to talk about this tour, Davy. You've been a busy man, as we talked about early on here. It's always been fun watching a blues musician during their travels, the ups and the downs, the flight delays. Mike Wheeler just got home after, I believe, 3 days stuck in London and back into the States. Yeah. The lost luggage, this and that and the other. Mm-hmm. But the payoff are the reports of the shows, the crowds, the feedback. This is really an addictive business, isn't it?
It is, and there's a romanticism about the whole thing. Even during the rough parts, being kind of Tom Hanks in Terminal for a while, the kind of feeling of being slightly nomadic and being in between places, that's always been an attraction. And then again, going back to the responsibility of opportunities afforded to you shouldn't be squandered.
Yes.
If you get the opportunity to do it, grab the bull by both horns and go for it. It's an amazingly addictive lifestyle, that, and you have to be careful with that. There's trappings that come with that, but it's I don't know. It's an incredibly rewarding one from an emotional standpoint, and it can be wearing from an emotional standpoint. But I would rather live between those two extremes than down the middle of the road somewhere, kind of ennui.
Taking it easy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, better to take those risks when you can.
I think so.
So August 1st, you're going to be in Pomeroy, Ohio. And then you are coming to the Arc in Ann Arbor on the 4th.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you've played the Arc before, yeah?
Once before, solo acoustic, yeah. Mm.
And you've been to the Token Lounge as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So this isn't your first go around with our local fans. Do they treat you well here in Michigan, Davey?
They don't throw things, and I'm really grateful for that. But no, it's always a good time. Always a good time. And the Ark is such a beautiful venue, lovely folks to deal with, and a great room. Great room.
Very cool. I am so looking forward to it. I've never been to the Ark. I've been to a couple of other venues in the Ann Arbor area, and I'm looking forward to it. But let's whet the appetites of your fan base, man. What can your audience expect from you this go around? Are they or we going to get to hear some of that new album with MKO in addition to the other goodies?
Yeah. We'll play a couple of those, and the songs from The Invisible Man, some of the old songs from Backdoor Slam and that era. We try and do a bit of everything, and then also we're kind of getting ready to do another record. With my band, under that. So we're kind of testing out new songs too, using folks as guinea pigs to see what, the arrangements and stuff like that, so we try really hard to keep things fresh for everyone. And there's nothing better than trying new songs live. That's how you tweak them.
Well, I'm going to send you a couple requests off the new album that I would love to have you consider. There's a couple of songs, and don't push me on the titles because I don't have them committed to memory yet. But I promise you, I work directly across the room from where I'm at right now all day, and I have a turntable, and I've got my CD player on my computer. I've got stuff digitally in the computer, and I listen to music all day. And there are absolutely a couple of songs on that new album that every time I hear them, it's like, ooh, yeah.
Oh, lovely. Stuff. Oh, cheers, mate. Thank you very much. That's a lovely compliment.
I think you're going to find when this album launches, I'm just going to stretch out there and say this, and this is from the bottom of my heart. I think you are going to be very surprised at the reception it's going to get from the public. I really am.
Oh, that's a lovely thing to say. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, Davey, here's the important part. Where can people go to find tickets for this event? Once again, slated for Monday, August 4th at the Ark in Ann Arbor. The floor is yours.
Oh, that would be www.davyknowles.com. And that's D-A-V-Y. No E. No, everyone sticks an E in there, and it's more effort. Just take it out. davyknowles.com, or if you go to Facebook, Instagram, all of those things, I'm constantly posting stuff there, irritating the internet with my content. So it's all posted up on the website and those sites.
Very nice. Now, how about merch? Are you going to have plenty on hand for folks to come out and buy some CDs, shirts, different things?
We make it frighteningly easy to part you with your money. We have CDs and records and T-shirts and USB sticks and pins and stickers and we are full mode.
Very good. Well, I love repetition, so I'm going to ask you a question that's going to force that repetition. For the record, where can people go to learn more about you, sir? Maybe buy some albums and merch before the gig, or book you for a gig?
Oh, lovely. DavyKnowles.com. Everything's on there. Everything goes through me as well. It's dead easy, or drop me a message on Facebook or Instagram. I'm open for a chat always.
And I can tell you unequivocally, folks, that he will answer if you send him a message. He always answers when I send him to him. But
yeah,
Davy Knowles, always a pleasure, my friend. I'm looking forward to saying hello, meeting you in person, and of course, shooting some incredible photos for the show for you. And as always, I thank you so much for taking time once again. And we'll meet you in Ann Arbor on the 4th of August.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, sir. Well, before we wrap up here, I want to remind you that it takes an estimated 5,000 music streams to raise the equivalent of $20, which is about the average for a CD purchase these days. Now, I couldn't believe it either, but I've made it my policy to buy music from artists first, and then and only then will I avail myself to the streaming services on various platforms. I mean, look, if we want to have people out there giving us live music, we owe it to them and ourselves to support what they do. And trust me, they will thank you every single time you spend $1 with them. And that wraps up this edition of Time Signatures. Once again, my appreciation and thanks to Davy Knowles, but also to you, for without you, none of this would be possible. Jim Ervin reminding you, keeping the blues alive is everyone's responsibility, but preserving the history of the blues, one story at a time, that's my mission. Until next time, so long, everybody.
This has been Time Signatures with Jim Ervin, presented by the Capital Area Blues Society in Lansing, Michigan. For more information on cabs, visit capitalareablues.org. You can find this episode and past episodes at lccconnect.org. The Time Signatures theme song, Michigan Roads, is used by permission and was written by Root Doctor, featuring Freddie Cunningham.
You know I'm trying, baby, driving up and down these Michigan roads, yeah.
Until next time, keep on keeping the blues alive.
Baby, I'm home.